Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi. Today we're going to take a look at another toy from the Battlestar Galactica range by Mattel, and today it is the Plush Daggit, released in 1979 to go along with all the other toys that Mattel produced. This is probably one of the well, let's say least collectible and least liked of the toys. It's a plush version of the Daggit that Boxy has in Battlestar Galactica, and it's just a bit well, it's just a bit horrid and a bit ugly. Obviously this is a 40-year-old toy now, so it's starting to show its age, but even still at the time it wasn't the most sort of likeable of toys. They've done a reasonable sort of representation of what the Daggit looked like by adding some plastic sort of detailing to the face there, but the toy itself is made out of a really hard sort of foam, and it's got some really sort of wiry hair on it, so it's not particularly soft and not particularly cuddly. And I would have thought if you wanted a plush version of a toy, you want something that you can actually sort of cuddle and sort of well, it's just something that feels a bit nice, and this really doesn't. The detailing, having said that, is pretty good. You know, they put some silver material on the feet and some sort of little bits around the arms and a bit around the belly there, but it's just a little bit on the ugly side and a bit sort of hard. It does have one feature, which is it talks. There's a pull cord here, and if I pull that, you'll hear it. Well, I say talk, it barks. So, that's actually a pretty good representation of the bark that it did in the show. Let's do that one more time. It only has one bark. Normally with these pull cord things there'll be a few different variations, but this toy only has one sound effect. So a little bit limited there on what it can do. I'm guessing that's probably why it's made out of a harder foam, because they've got some little sort of record player inside it. And the speaker, I think, must be around the nose here, because that's certainly where it sounds like it's coming out. But if we compare this to the smaller toy that Mattel produced, as you can see, that looks much more like Boxy's Daggit did in Battlestar Galactica. This is a sort of poor representation of it. It's just, I don't know, for me it just doesn't do much. And I guess maybe if you were a sort of a young child at the time, you would have loved this toy, but as a collector of Battlestar Galactica stuff like I am, I'm a bit let down by it. It just doesn't look that great. You don't see these up for sale particularly often, and normally when they are, they're a little bit tatty like this one. I very rarely have seen a decent condition, sort of unplayed with one. I think they just got played with a bit and then stuck in the bottom of a box, and which is how they end up looking this dirty and sort of rough. And there's not a lot you can do to clean it up, because it's got the talking mechanism inside it. You can't stick it in the washing machine or anything like that. So overall, it's not the best of plush toys. But if you want to get sort of a complete set of Battlestar Galactica toys, it's one that you have to have, and it's one that I added to my collection a few years ago, but generally just sits in the bottom of a box because it's not really one that I want to have on display. So I hope that's been of interest to you, and thanks for watching.